It's now time for the big story. Dr. Lucien Jones is vice chairman of the National Road Safety Council, the NRSC, and he's calling for tougher measures against reckless drivers following a recent fatal crash in Trelawney that claimed 5 lives. Dr. Jones emphasized the need for stricter enforcement, including hefty fines and demerit points for speeding offenses. He believes that sanctions are the most effective way to reduce speeding and promote road safety. And Dr. Jones is talking to us on a morning when news is coming in that there was a 3-vehicle accident along the halfway tree road in the vicinity of Chelsea Avenue a few moments ago. We understand a wrecker is on location removing one of the vehicles. We don't have details as to whether or not anyone was injured. But Dr. Jones, it's good to have you on the program. Good morning and welcome. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning to your listeners.
Doc,
I'm good, thanks.
Wonderful. You have made some comments recently which caught our attention here in Jamaica. The fact that you're proposing more or tougher measures and so on, fines and all that to tackle reckless driving. Give us some more details as to where your thought process is at.
Well, the details really are in the number of people who have died in our country to date. To date, we have had 196 precious souls who have died on our roads. And I get a report for fatal crashes every morning and a preliminary analysis by the police. And consistently, crash after crash, the report from the police says that speeding is either suspected or determined. Failure to keep in your lane and distracted driving for one reason or another. So here we have a situation in our country where many people have died. Many more will die if we don't do something drastic about it. And alongside a situation where murder has dropped significantly because the police have been given the wherewithal, the equipment, the training, the direction to deal with this severe national problem. We are saying that death is death. Murder is one thing, but it's no different from when people die on the road because of reckless driving. And therefore, this culture that we have in the country, where people speed regularly and without care for either themselves or for anyone else on the road, has to stop. Because it is the number one cause of the reason why people are dying on our roads. And we need to care for the death of road users in the same way that we care for those who are murdered by wicked gunmen. So whatever resources that the police need, and they are not many, the sanctions which apply to those who are caught driving recklessly needs to be preceded by the measures which will help us to catch them. And the demerit point system is one such issue which is not functioning properly. The use of cameras to both detect and to send tickets is awaiting instructions and policy changes to be effective. And whatever else that we need to do with us, what I'm saying is that we just have to do what we have to do to save lives.
You make reference to sanctions, and I wonder whether or not there's data or research that supports the effectiveness of using sanctions as a way of reducing speed and promoting road safety.
Yeah, man. The sanctions and the speeding is part of what is now being accepted worldwide as the only method that is effective in reducing fatalities and injuries in the road, which is called the safe system approach to road safety. And it has 5 parts. Making sure you have people drive at safe speeds, making sure people have driving safe vehicles, make sure that people drive on safe roads, make sure that those who are on the roads are safe road users. They put on their seatbelt, they put on the helmet, they don't drive on an influence of alcohol and marijuana. They don't drive and be distracted by the cell phone. And the last one is that they make sure that if and when somebody crashes, you have an effective post-crash system that moves people from the crash site to the hospital very quickly. So it is not a one-off thing we're talking about. We're talking about a comprehensive approach to a serious national problem, which is killing off our people and which is also affecting our GDP, our national development, and our future as a nation. Mm-hmm. So the data is very clear. There's no if and but about the data. Mm-hmm. It has been well researched. A mere 5%, Richie, a mere 5% reduction in average speed by research can give you a 30% reduction in the number of people dying on our roads. 30%. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Now all you need to do is cut your speed by 5%.
Yeah.
So the data is
it's clear, very clear, and very available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very clear.
Yes. There are some people, though, Dr. Jones, who, when they talk about, we talk about increasing penalties and fines and so on. I'm not talking about increasing penalties, no. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that what we need to do is to make sure we catch those who are driving recklessly. The Road Traffic Act has been promulgated in the last 2 years. And all the fines that are there have not changed. I'm not saying they must increase the fines. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that we need to make sure that when you get into your motor vehicle, you are burdened by the fact that if you play the fool, if you drive recklessly, you will be caught. And if you are caught, certain things will happen to you. And one of them, you'll pay a hefty fine. If you don't choose not to pay the fine and go to the court and plead your case, you will be arrested. If you consistently break the law and they catch you, and the demerit points add up, you stand to lose your license or have it suspended. Mm-hmm. So these are issues which are in force. I'm not calling for anything extra. Okay, but do you believe that sort of enforcing stricter measures can also have a negative impact in terms of increasing corruption or harassment by law officers?
Yeah, well, that is an age-old problem, and that is above my pay grade. I am presuming that the policemen would act honorably. And if they don't, then they too must be subject to fines and whatever penalties accumulate. So I know it's a big argument about putting more money in the pockets of corrupt policemen. But I can't determine how to reduce fatalities and injuries by what policemen will do or will not do. That's a different matter altogether. It's out of my hands. That is in the commissioner's hands and the court's hands. But I understand the problem. That's not an ordinary problem, and that's not a new problem. That's a real problem, and I know about it. I mean, I live in Jamaica, so people talk. But you can't proceed on a course of action and be deterred from what you know you're doing is right to save lives because of the perceived action or the real action of corrupt policemen. No, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You have to deal with the corrupt policemen in addition to what you're doing too.
Right. If you look at last year's figures, for instance, how do they compare with this year? Are we losing more lives this year than we did last year this time?
We are down 4% from last year. At the beginning of the year, we're down almost 20%. So we have lost ground. Yes. And we don't approach the Christmas period yet. And that's usually the time when a whole lot of crashes take place and deaths. So we're not in a comfortable place right now. And where we want to head is not just at 20%. We need to cut the figures by 50% based on the mandate from the World Health Organization for the decade of action against road safety 2020 to 2030. The goal that the WHO has issued to all countries is to cut your fatality by 50%. And it's not an arbitrary goal, Richie. It's a goal which means that we can save thousands of lives, of Jamaican lives, precious Jamaican people who we need to help to develop our country and who just deserve to live and are dying in a crash in Trelawney, going to a party at 2:30 in the morning and traveling at speed or wherever. No, our people deserve better than this.
Yes, I know you have a time constraint. I want to drop one more question in, and that has to do now with how we move forward. I know you've spoken quite a bit about implementing a public education and training program. Are we any closer to getting those implemented?
Yeah, man. The public education is going to happen very, very soon. The training is already in place. There are additional things we need to do. We need to train our motorcyclists, many of them who can't ride, and many of them who are dying because they speed, but they can't ride also and they're not wearing a helmet. So there are a number of other things to do within the whole safe systems environment. Minister Vaz has successfully lobbied to get money from the fines into a public education program. So that's to happen soon. But we need to do everything at the same time to make it work. And the country needs to mobilize civil society, private sector, the politicians, and I'm talking about the politicians broadly, both government and opposition.
Yes.
They need to have the political will to do what is necessary. And if the country responds, then we can see the kind of reduction that we need to see. And our country can breathe, and people can live and not die, and not have funerals all over the place.
Due to reckless driving. Thank you so much, Dr. Jones. Great having you as always. Have a good day.
Thank you, Richard.
All right. Our pleasure.